The weave is broken. Those of might and magic are falling. Factions fly to fill the vacuum of power as the spell plague brings destruction across the Forgotten Realms. Two heroes meet in the abandoned ruins of the Sword Coast town of Leylon. Women skilled in sword and sorcery, upon whose shoulders rest the fate of the entire Forgotten Realms.
Wait. Is he talking about us?
I sure hope not, because that sounds like a lot of responsibility.
Oh, gods. Hello and welcome to Best Left Forgotten, the deliberately uncanon and unofficial Forgotten Realms D&D actual play podcast. My name is Nathan Quadrio, and I am your Dungeon Master.
My name is Miriam Feats, and I play Clarrybelle Troll Bleeder, the Dwarven Barbarian.
My name is Jess Wolfendale, and I play Flick Goldkind, the Gnome Druid.
Now, in case you've forgotten, our party, heading south back to the Enclave, met with land that was blackened and twisted. Flick immediately became ill, and her hand blackened, becoming much like the damaged items that they have seen before them. They arrived back at the Emerald Enclave and shared the information that they had found with Arnett Greysoother. They discuss their plans to head northward towards Sharandar, and decide to bring a couple of extra friends along, Callie Willowboot and Bryce. But unfortunately, due to the reveal that they have been requested by the Red Wizards of Thay, Bryce and Callie decided to part ways with their companions. And our last session ended with Flick and Clarrybelle about to travel northward over the Second River towards Sharandar. Let's jump right in. You cross the river and continue to head north through the dying woodlands of Neverwinter Wood. After about another hour, maybe hour and a half of travel, you begin to see very, very tall trees upon which sit what seem to be houses and long bridges, many of which are broken and falling apart, that link these houses. In them are lanterns that seem to glow with a green light. Underneath, you can see pieces of these broken bridges upon the floor, planks, roots as if they had been made from the trees themselves. As you come closer, you can see there is a tall pillar made of a harsh red stone that seems to stand out from the landscape, and you believe this to be the encampment of the Red Wizards of Thay. Around that pillar are several tents made from a thick, some kind of hide, a tanned hide. And that's all I feel like I need to say about that.
So same tent that Hamoon had.
Yeah.
At the moment, you can't see anybody. Do you continue to approach?
Are we doing this?
I mean, do we have a choice? They can see us whenever they want to, it would seem.
Maybe they couldn't see us. They can't see us in the woods. They only talk to us outside of the woods.
Can you see us right now, strange wizards?
You see one tent flap open, then another, and another, and another.
Yeah, I think we have to do this.
And several red wizards in a line begin to walk towards you, forming almost a V.
I just grab Clarrybelle's hand and try to stand firm.
They stand, almost posing, staring upon you in this line with the tallest in the middle, their red cloaks billowing slightly in the breeze, each of their bald heads covered in these dark black tattoos. Hello. It is so wonderful that you have both come here. I believe you have an orb for me? And he reaches out his hand.
I mean... No, she wouldn't. I was like, do I give him the orb that doesn't have the blue fire in it and see if he buys it? Because that would be... I mean, what is he going to do to us that he's not already going to do to us, you know?
I feel like there's less chance of us getting murdered if we give them the right one.
Be real funny, though.
It would be hilarious.
Here you go. Minor illusion. This'll trick him.
Run for your life.
I mean, it's the same orb. It's literally the same glass orb. It just doesn't have blue fire in it because we got it from Clark.
I think we have to give them the right one because they'll know if we do a switcheroo.
We've had this conversation on the way
yeah.
here for sure. We're just like, no, I can trick them. I promise. I mean,
You have the box, I have the key.
yeah. I pull out the locked box and I just hold it sort of close to myself.
Do you mean this orb?
Clarrybelle thinks that they think that she has that voice.
And it's just too embarrassing to change it now.
Certainly. I'm so glad that you ladies have made this so easy. And he takes 2 steps forwards towards you.
Can I like scan the surroundings and them and just like, you know, just like that sort of like bunny trapped in a corner, just checking for every exit and strategy that it can kind
Roll a
of.
perception check.
13.
You look around and, I mean, there are the people in front of you. That seems to be it as far as you can tell. There are maybe 6 there, I think, 7. Maybe 3 on either side and the one who's talking to you in the middle. There are 7 wizards. But aside from that, you could technically just run.
Can I check in with the orb?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's still in the box, but that doesn't seem to have ever stopped it before.
Mm-hmm.
What vibe am I getting from it? Is it singing? Is it getting warm? Do I feel it in there, essentially?
You do feel it in there. There's a tentativeness that you feel, as if it doesn't want to be given up so freely. And you're not sure if that's the orb or that's you adding personification upon the orb. It is still closed, so you cannot see any light or hear any singing.
I glance over at Clarrybelle just for a second, and I pass the box over.
To Clarrybelle or to the Red Wizard?
To the Red Wizard.
Okay, you pass the box over to the Red Wizard. Delightful. There's a key, I presume?
Do you need it?
Of course not. And there's a weird staring match.
Clarrybelle has no idea what's happening right now.
Are you really not going to give me the key?
I mean, theoretically, you're the most powerful wizard I've heard, so why don't you show us?
I see. Yes, well, it will make it quite difficult to settle on afterwards, but that's okay. And he unlocks the box magically and opens it up.
Great. Is he looking at the orb?
He is looking at the orb. The orb is glowing and singing.
Great. I'm pulling Clarrybelle back a few steps because I'm assuming that everyone's sort of distracted a little bit
Yes.
by this.
Yes.
So I'm sort of getting us more in a better position.
All right.
I look at you, I'm like, ready?
I guess.
Okay, Nathan. You can just say no because this is a wild
That's fine.
ask.
That's all right.
I'm going to hold out my hand.
Yeah.
What I'm guessing is spell-plagued hand.
Mm-hmm.
And with the connection I have with the orb, I'm going to attempt to recall it to myself.
Snaps. Okay. You reach out your hand and in your heart and soul attempt to reclaim the orb as all 7 of these wizards are staring at its glowing light and the song. As you reach out your hand, it gets louder and louder. Can you make a wisdom saving throw?
Yep. This has gone so well so many times. I don't think it's going to go well again.
I don't even know if this is one you want to pass or fail. Like, oh God.
Got to pass it. It's another natural 20. Can you believe the numbers I have rolled on this orb?
The song increases in volume as you close your eyes and attempt to call the orb back. Your fingers close around the orb and it is in your hand. Return the orb to us. And he throws the box upon the ground.
Now that's going to be real hard to sell on.
It in character, I'm so angry. I'm just like, wow, I'm really in it. I'm just going to break myself from that character. I'm like, how? I almost dare you. I almost leapt across the table. I was like, you give me back that orb.
Are we running?
My thought is I need to work through these ideas.
Yeah.
I think if we leave, they can just ask us to come back again. I don't think leaving solves anything.
Okay.
It might give us some more time if we want it.
Okay.
I can get us out of here.
Okay.
We could also try to scare them off a bit.
Okay.
That's a lot of wizards.
If you have a plan,
I
Clarrybelle
don't.
is following
I don't have a plan.
it.
This is the problem.
Clarrybelle thinks you have a plan.
The orb comes back to her hand. And she's not overtaken by it, but she knows that it has affected her in some way, and she is more powerful with this orb. She knows every time she uses it, she wins. We win.
Yeah.
And so she just looks at them and says, "It's mine."
The leading red wizards turns to the others. Kill the other, take the orb. And they begin to approach.
Well, that's not good. I'm
going to give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
If you want to readjust what you do.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we roll initiative against 7 red wizards.
Okay. Flick is going to hesitate for a moment. She's making a split-second decision. Do you do anything in that time?
I think I just look at
Zaz.
was it it's Zaz
You don't
We
know who that
don't
is.
know.
You don't know if it's Zaz or not.
or not? Yeah.
Hey, you like Zaz?
Some smooth Zaz. I'm a member of the symphony. Please don't kill me.
The other 6 who are heading towards you begin to slow. The one in the middle continues to walk towards you, Flick, quite aggressively, and is soon within 5 feet of you. You have one more opportunity to do whatever you want to do, otherwise we're going to roll initiative.
Yeah, no, I'm going to attempt to, before he can make any attempt to get in our space, whether or not I do this quick enough, I'm getting me and Clarrybelle out of here. I'm using the orb to take us elsewhere.
Okay, where would you like to go?
I would like to go to the door in the woods.
Okay, can you roll initiative? We're going to roll contested
Yep.
initiative with this red wizard.
Ooh.
Spicy!
It's not spicy on his end.
Just did
Good.
really well.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Wow, most powerful wizard? I don't think so. What about the most powerful druid?
He reaches out to grab you and grabs thin air as you disappear and reappear in front of the door in the middle of this broken ring of stones.
Are you okay?
I think so. I mean, I gave away my real voice, so I'm not exactly thrilled about that.
It's okay.
But I think that was going to come out no matter what.
All right. I think they're going to be after us, so we have to do something real quick.
All right. I really don't know what we're meant to do here. I couldn't understand the weird writings on the door or on the robe or on the stone.
I haven't had a look at it yet. I'm going to do that real quick, but I think that if they were trying to get hold of the orb and they were trying to do something in the woods, then we can use the orb to do the thing they were trying to do before they can do it. That's the only thing I could think of.
Okay, well, you're the one that knows about magics, so
All right.
I'll stand guard and you do your thing.
And I'm just going to pull my maul and stand in the place that has the best eye lines and
Not a
be
problem.
ready.
You do
Great.
so. Like you turn to face the door and you see a door that has several of the same markings that are on the red wizard's skin.
Great.
There is a keyhole in it,
What shape is the keyhole?
in the shape of a keyhole.
I'm sorry if this is insulting, but that's maybe the funniest thing you've ever said. I'm going to cast Identify.
Okay.
I don't know if we've got time for this, but I think I'm going to start. And I'm going to see if I can figure out anything about this door and about the key that it is needed.
Okay. You cast Identify. Now, this is a teleportation door that using the key and opening it will allow you to step forward into some other realm, dimension, or plane.
Oh, goody.
What is it?
It's a door to another plane or something, dimension. It needs a key. I could just try to use the orb instead, but you got to keep an eye on me, okay?
Yeah, I've got your back.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
Yeah, Flick really doesn't want to do this. She's only ever used the orb in life or death situations. And even though this is technically that, it's not the same. She's not in combat. She's not actively being approached by someone. And she really doesn't want to get complacent with this orb. But also she doesn't feel like they have another choice at this point. So with the most hesitance she's ever had, she's just going to, with the hand that is still clutching the orb, hold it up towards the keyhole and attempt to almost push the flame within out into a physical object that will fit into the keyhole.
Okay, since you roll a natural 20, I'm going to allow you to make another wisdom saving throw
Yep.
at advantage.
Oh,
Ooh, spicy.
both ones. I feel like, funnily enough, this is the same roll that I rolled the second time I used the orb.
Very possibly.
It's a 25.
A 25 does pass,
Thank goodness.
and you push, not from the orb, but from what feels like your soul inside you. You push out this blue crackling flame that forms into a key and pours into the lock. Clarrybelle, you notice the intense light of this blue flame is lighting the entirety of the ring around you, and you can hear of this crackling lightning bolts around it as it goes into the lock. And the door opens, and there is an inky black portal through which you can enter.
I turn back and look at you.
You know, we could just be walking into a room full of more of those red wizards.
We could. But I feel like if we stay wherever we are now, they're coming for us.
I trust you.
I'm glad one of us does.
We going in?
Together.
Together.
I grab Clarrybelle's hand again. And we stand in front of the door. And I look up at the sky for what might be the last time. And I close my eyes and I step forward.
And you walk through the portal. And you enter into this blazing red plain. These rich red rocks are everywhere around you. The sky seems as if it's on fire. Directly ahead of you, you see enormous buildings made from bone, all leading towards a huge excavation pit that fills the entirety of everywhere you can see, that falls deep into the ground. On the opposite side of the pit to you sits an enormous pillar made of the same red stone that you saw in the encampment in Sharandar, but this one is impossibly high. It almost seems like as if it's piercing the sky above it. Floating even above that pillar are enormous metal discs that seem to slot into them and form and flip with spheres all around them. Flick, you recognize this as something that is tracking the patterns of the stars and the planets above. However, all of this pales in significance to the corpse of a one-winged dragon that is suspended from the top of the excavation pit. As you have entered inside the dread ring of the Red Wizards of Thay.
Can we roll stealth?
Yes, you can absolutely roll stealth.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
16.
Oh, it's a Flick stealth. 8.
Okay, at the moment there is nobody around you, so you are okay moving stealthily. There is nearby a hole in the ground that kind of leads down into the excavation pit that seems to be, if somebody was walking through this door, this is the direction that they would go.
I'd like to shut the door behind us.
Yes. Not a problem. It is shut. As you look around, because look, your passive perception is quite high. They're quite a distance away, so I think that, Clarrybelle, you might not be able to... What's your passive perception?
It's not. It's like 11 or something.
Okay. So, Flick, you can actually see that maybe 300 or 400 meters away, there's another door. And then around, there's another door. And there's another door. There's rings of doors that all lead to this place.
Okay. That may have not been the only door.
All right.
But hopefully they don't have the keys for those ones either.
I love that you think they don't have the key.
Yeah, of course.
Which is just not the truth at all.
No, they have the key.
Not. But he was standing in front of the door and he didn't open it. So you see where it's happened. You see where our night intelligence has made
I
this
see what your
conclusion.
character's about to happen. I'm like, this is not...
Yep.
Okay.
I'm like, no. They needed the spell orb because they didn't have the key.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't just want it.
I think Clarrybelle looks to Flick.
Are we sneaking in? Or, I mean, building inspectors worked for us before. Should we be orb deliverers? I've already got the line ready.
Hey, we have your orb.
It's it's the one-liner that works in so many situations. I think maybe for now I would love to put this away.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give you the box
Okay.
and I'm going to put the orb in it. How's my hand looking?
Your hand is looking fine. It looks the same.
It looks fine. I'm cured.
Your hand looks the same as it had before. It seems like your interaction with the orb has not affected your hand at all.
Okay.
All right.
Here's some good news.
Yeah.
I know the back of my hand.
And I close the box and I'm like,
Maybe you just keep all of it.
Okay.
You seem totally under control around this thing.
All right. I'll keep this safe. And we still don't have a plan.
Oh, goodness, no. I closed the door, though.
All right. They might have the key.
Nah.
Because that big red pillar looks an awful lot like the big red pillar that we saw at Sharondar.
Maybe it's one of those things where there's like multiple factions of the Red Wizards, and like the ones that we talked to, not in on it. And so they're trying to sneak in and like get access back to their big dragon.
I mean, could be.
Could be.
That doesn't solve how we don't die right now.
Right, yes. We should probably get away from the door
Okay.
in case you are right and someone has a key.
Yeah.
Great.
I would like to look for a spot that's maybe the furthest I can get away from any one door. If that's just between two doors, that's fine. But like the furthest away from any doors.
So you have a whole bunch of options, right? So you could be in between two doors. The doors kind of seem to be around the pit. You could head directly forward because all the doors are in a ring around the pit. So it's like you came from a big ring of stones into a big ring of doors, which is around a circular pit. So you can head directly forwards. If you are wanting to hide, then there is the hole that is heading into the pit that is directly in front of you. There's not a huge amount of rock that's around. Obviously, there's no trees or anything that you could hide behind. There are a few rocks which might be able to hide one of you, but most of them seem to be in use in a variety of different ways in holding up things or buildings and stuff like that.
All right. Let's move forward and get our bearings a bit, figure out a plan.
I have a really bad idea.
Hey, I just made a few of them in a row. It's your turn.
I pull out the red cloak that we have. Because we're both so short.
Yes.
And it was a fully sized.
We've discussed this idea once before. It's finally time.
Because we are so small. And it was a fully sized man. And we established in the last episode that I'm quick with a needle. Can I turn this into 2 cloaks? And can we pretend to be Wizards of Thay?
Okay, that's not what I thought you were saying. I thought you were going to do the teens sneaking into a movie.
Should we do that instead?
Yeah, I don't mind. It is totally up to you.
I think Clarrybelle holds the robe up.
So I could tailor this so we've each got a fancy cloak, or you sit on my shoulders and we make one, maybe kind of the right height wizard.
Were any of the Wizards of Thay we have seen so far not human-sized people?
They were all human-sized people. Tall, generally.
I think, considering the ones we've seen so far, do you have any makeup that we can like draw some symbols on? Sorry, there's so many questions. Who's the face and who's the legs?
I mean, can you hold me on your shoulders?
Can I be trusted to talk? Maybe I move my mouth and you do the talking with your cool voice.
We can certainly try. If you're on the bottom, I think I'm going to be too heavy.
Should we try?
If you want to.
For the sake of brevity, Flick will have to be on the top.
Yeah, I know. All right, yeah. Yeah, I think,
All right.
how tall does that make us? Weren't we both like 3'9" or
Yep.
something?
So I assume you sitting on my shoulders will kind of make you.
I think you'd be about the right height.
We'd be
is what I
about
thought.
6-ish foot, I think.
Nice.
If you have, just in response to your question from earlier, Jess, if you have charcoal or an old torch that you have but have and have used, then that would probably be enough to kind of just get some stuff on your hands and faces.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because like Clarrybelle would have makeup, but not a disguise kit. So it would be like, I could do like your liner, but I can't make you look
and
like a
here's
different
the thing.
person.
We don't have to do our arms. My arms are too short for how tall we are by a significant degree. So we're just going to pretend that our arms are clasped the entire time we're walking around.
Good call.
Great.
All right.
All right, do my makeup.
And I do Flick's makeup. I copy from the robe to make sure I'm using the right kind of.
They're not on the rope.
They're not on the robe?
It's just a red rope.
Oh,
they were on the
stone.
door.
They're on the
They're
stone.
on the door and they are on the stone.
They're on the stone. We use the ones on the
We
stone.
take it from our environment, Nathan.
Yeah. I thought they were on the robe. I don't know why my head had
That's
them on
okay.
the robe.
So, Clarrybelle, you paint as closely as you can the Thayan marks upon Flick's face. Then, Flick, you climb up onto Clarrybelle's shoulders, clasp your hands in front of you, and raise the hood, I imagine, to kind of
Yeah.
remain as incognito as possible.
Considering the size of my hair, yes.
And you are ready, quote unquote, to travel through this Thayan capital.
So ready.
Beautiful.
Let's do it.
Where would you like to go? Down that main path? Or you're
Yeah.
heading towards the doors or towards the pit?
I think down the main path.
Are we going straight down the main path? Do we want to figure out what's in the pit?
Does the main path go?
So
To
the
the
main
pit?
path, so everything seems to head down
Yeah,
into the pit.
yeah.
So the main path is like heads downward, you
Gotcha.
assume, towards the pit.
Great. We're feeling, I think, pretty confident about our disguise, so we can probably head down the main path.
Let's go.
Great.
Not a problem.
I'm going to stop talking now.
Okay, feel free to whisper to me.
All right.
You continue to walk and you head down through this tunnel. Immediately, it turns dimmer, but there is a strange red glow coming from several orbs that are every 15 or so feet, like torches that just glow. As you walk down, you hear coming towards you the footsteps of another red wizard.
I sort of tighten my grip on the legs so I'm doing less swaying back and forth on Clarrybelle's shoulders and just sort of eyes down, keep walking.
As they walk past you. Hello.
Hello.
And they walk past, and you seem to have sufficiently fooled this one red wizard.
Geniuses. You see, now that we're one person, we have 18 intelligence.
That's definitely how that
Yep.
works.
Ahead of you, you can see a bigger light coming at the end of this tunnel. And as you walk, it opens up into a series of interconnected wider corridors that are probably 25, 30 feet across. And hanging from the roof is a sign that reads, Flesh Factory. Please remain quiet. Reanimation in progress.
Okay. I mean,
Beautiful. You continue down the corridor. It's kind of a zigzag as you walk along, so you have to turn and then turn. and then turn back and forth as you seem to be heading towards the left.
I think Flick has to be ratatouilleing me because I
Here's
don't
my
know
question.
how I'm seeing.
There are
where
two
to
ways
go.
this goes. Either the robe is thin enough that you are able to see a small amount out through it, or I'm doing like a horse riding thing
Yes.
where I'm like, you know,
It's the second.
it is the latter. I'm basically just, leaning a little bit to the left when I need you to go left. It's all in the hips.
Beautiful.
Oh, maybe when your hips don't lie. The
It all
power of
comes back to
Shakira
Shakira.
helps us once again.
As you turn the first corner of this zigzag, you can see 6, maybe 7 red wizards sitting on chairs on either side of this corridor. And they have pieces of parchment that they're making notes upon as these reanimated undead, these zombies that they have just animated, are kind of like stumbling, trying to walk. And one of them falls to the ground, and the wizard rushes up and picks it up and like models, this is how you walk, and shows the zombie how to walk. And then they allowed the zombie to walk. And they're kind of coaching these zombies through their first steps of reanimation.
That's kind of cute at the same time as horrifying,
I'm really glad Clarrybelle can't see any of this.
Yep. Yeah, I'm definitely the one with better constitution to handle this. Trying not to look at as much of it as I can. I don't know what the plan is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just continuing to walk through the most main path I can see.
Okay. As you continue to follow the path, after a few more loops of this zigzag, there is a series of tables upon which sit a series of zombies. And at the front, it's almost like a school, is a red wizard with a big drawing of a man with the appropriate tattoos and a cloak and a big cross, a coronet. And he says, "These are the people you do not attack. These are your family. We are the Red Wizards of Thay." And he flips over this flip chart, and there's just a picture of like a wood elf. It's like, "This is the enemy. Destroy at all costs." And the zombies seem to be taking this information in.
Like, if Flick's starting to breathe a little harder, but is just like, yep, keep going.
And as you continue to walk, there's another flip. "And these are gnomes, the most hated of all."
What are we doing? What is gonna happen
This
to
is
us?
equally the best and the worst idea I've ever had in my life.
Yep. I mean, it's no building inspectors, but
It's pretty
there's
good.
time.
You loop around, and there is a wider area. And along one side are all of these zombies standing, and along another side is a Red Wizard of Thay. And in front of him are the series of kind of like training dummies covered in meat and flesh. And he puts a whistle up to his lips. And the zombies begin to rush and attack the dummies and throw them to the ground and begin to eat the flesh. Very good. Very good. Dean, fantastic. Charlene, Christine, remember to get your teeth right around it.
Clarrybelle's going to need to roll a constitution saving throw
Yeah.
so as not to let out some kind of noise.
Nice.
Okay. That's a 25. We're okay.
You're okay. And you leave this training area. Brad, Chad, continue. Fantastic.
Okay, so they do have different rhyming names in some circumstances.
You just feel Clarrybelle's hands like grip a little tighter
Yep.
on your legs until the rhyming stops.
And you come out, and you are now in the main part of this massive excavation pit. You look up, and you can see the one enormous wing of this huge dragon, this gargantuan dragon, as it would be in official TNT language.
Which we use so much of.
It's true. As it hangs above you. And it's just this immense power, even though it's just a corpse that it once would have held. It sends a chill through your spine that has just constantly already been chilled by your presence here.
Clarrybelle's having a lovely time.
You're doing great.
You look down and you can see several undead working and pouring things into forges and turning wheels to power things as they are creating something or empowering something, and it's not clear to you exactly what's going on. There is a path further down if you wanted to head deeper down into the pit, or one that goes around the edge of the pit that would take you to the other end where the pillar was.
I think probably heading around to the other end. I don't feel that going into the pit is going to bring us any good at this stage. Is there anyone sort of around us?
There are a couple of people, but they're further down.
All right. Yeah, I'm just going to sort of very quietly be like, do we need to go into the pit?
There's a pit.
Yeah. Or are we going to the pillar?
Your call.
Hello.
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 Do you think there's more people in the pit or at the pillar?
I wouldn't know.
You look down and you can see that it's mostly undead down there. There are absolutely some red wisps down there who are maintaining, supervising. But as far as you can see, there are maybe, if there are 300 undead down there, then there's maybe 10 or 15 red wisps.
I don't see a way out down there.
Then let's go to the pillar. I can't see anything.
quick,
I'm
boys.
really trusting your
I give you a
judgment.
little kick on your right side and we head around.
It does take you about 15 minutes to walk all the way around. And there are a number of close calls as people walk past you. Hello.
Hello.
Can you roll me a deception or performance check?
I was wondering when you were going to ask for that.
Because this is when we're starting to be in close quarters.
Do I get to assist or not? Like, is my walking assistance?
No, it's not.
I feel like here's what it is. Yes, you're giving me assistance, but the amount of disadvantage we have from the same situation. Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Oh, baby, when your hips don't lie. 7 + 1 is 8. Oh. I'm sorry, my hips don't lie. I cannot lie.
The first couple you managed to pass without an issue. They're discussing something else. They're comparing notes, and you can see the drawings on their parchment are of bodies that have been completely separated out into their individual pieces and how they can be re-sewn back together. And as you continue to walk, there's just a man on his own who's just passing you by. Hello.
Hello.
And he stops and looks at you. Hello.
I'd get Clarrybelle to stop, and I think that's probably the jerky stop may not help our situation
Like a
here.
swaying up
Hello.
Hello, I'm not familiar with you.
No, your face is not familiar to me either.
My name is Jonah, and you are? And he begins to come much, much closer to you than is comfortable and reaches his hand out to shake yours.
I feel like this hesitation is slightly in character.
Yes.
I feel like with that terrible roll, it's definitely a few seconds of looking him straight in the eyes and saying absolutely nothing. And then I go, Hamoon, pleased to meet you.
Oh, my. Okay.
I feel like if anyone's going to be well known in this circle, it's the one wizard that doesn't wear sleeves. Like,
Okay. What do you do about the handshake?
I very awkwardly put out the same hand as him because the hand he was going to shake is my not good hand. And I'm just going to try to do it in a way that extends out as far as I possibly can, but makes it look like maybe my elbow's still... No, that doesn't work. I'm just going to reach out and try my best to be subtle.
Okay, can you make a sleight of hand or performance check?
Okay, sleight of hand, 19.
That's pretty good.
But not as good as...
Well, he only rolled an 11 on the die, but he's very intelligent, so I'm just trying to work through an investigation thing. Okay. He reaches and shakes your hand. Why don't you come with me? Hamoon, I'm sure it's been so long since you've been here in the ring. Come with me. I think Valindra would love to see you.
Oh, it's been an age, darling.
And he starts to drag you.
I'm very quickly trying to signal Clarrybelle
Can you make a
around.
dexterity saving throw, please?
Yep.
Clarrybelle.
This doesn't fall under threats I can see with my barbarian stuff, does it? Because I can't see.
no. I'm going to say no.
21.
Okay. Flick is almost pulled off your shoulders, but you manage to catch up and cover it so that obviously Jonah is incredibly suspicious of you,
Yeah.
but not suspicious of you to the fact that you are two people in a cloak. Because I also rolled for that before and he didn't notice.
Incredible.
I feel like in terms of infiltrating a really dark, intense organization, pretty low on the list of things that they're expecting from an
Yeah.
infiltrator is that it's two people stacked on top of each
I'll
other in a
take
cloak.
that win, honestly. Even if
Yeah.
we get made here, the fact that he didn't at least get that detail, which should have maybe been the most obvious
Like, our
thing.
plan is so stupid
Yep.
that it's not even
What
crossed their
plan?
minds that anyone would think to
All
do
right.
it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
What was
And
his-
that's their bad. I couldn't think of the right word.
He takes you right around as he walks past a whole bunch of other people. Hello. Hello. Back and forth. And you exit the pit.
So is that a whole 15 minutes or is the same way we were going?
The way you were going, which is the whole
Yay.
15 minutes.
How exciting.
I know. I can't tell your characters how they're feeling, but there's definitely sweat on the brow
Oh,
and
yeah.
panic in the heart.
Yep.
I think like Flick is even starting to, like, Clarrybelle's hands are starting to slip a little bit because the palms are so sweaty.
Absolutely. Knees
were weak.
Arms spaghetti. Mum spaghetti.
And you begin to walk through these long halls that head upwards towards the pillar. Clarrybelle, you don't notice anything. Yeah. You're just walking.
Yeah.
But Flick, it is incredibly confusing and nonsensical. The first thing that triggers you is you're walking forwards and there's a turn to the left. And you're walking forwards and you're walking forwards. And in front of you, Jonah just keeps walking through the turn as if it never existed. And you walk and you walk and you walk through the turn yourself and you realize there never was a turn and it was always straight, even though it looked like a left turn.
Right.
And then you climb up some steps and you're trying to balance on these stairs with Clarrybelle underneath you. And as you climb up these steps, you turn, and as you look behind you, it's flat ground. And if you were to go back down these steps, you can't. These steps only go up, not down.
Oh, God.
And there's a whole bunch of these confusing things, and the walls, it's like they don't quite join properly at the corners. And it's just this weird messing with your mind that you're really confused, and you're really glad, in a way, that you're coming through it with a red wizard, because otherwise you'd be like, well, I have no idea what's going on.
Yep. I'm just trying to act my best like I've done this before and that this is totally fine.
I feel like Flick's going to come out of this with some intense trauma and Clarrybelle's going to be like, that was a weird day.
That was a weird one.
It's true. Eventually, you pass through these halls and you arrive up again on the top of the pit. And you see this enormous red pillar. Enormous. You can't even fathom how tall it is. Valindra will be so thrilled to see you.
Ooh, not as thrilled as I am.
Hamoon, was it?
Yes.
Yes.
Jonah, wasn't it?
It's true. I believe your Hamoon cost, is that correct? You were at Old Owl Well?
That's the one.
Down near the Sword Mountains.
Yes.
Hamoon, it's funny. You look so different than when we went up through Wizard College together.
Wizard College exists now, Nathan.
That's what they're called. They're called colleges of
I
schools of
know,
magic.
but it being Wizard College
Suggests that, like, there's fraternities.
fraternities. exactly what I thought.
Alpha Beta Thay.
Actually, that's exactly what the Red Wizards of Thay are. It's just a fraternity that went a little too far.
Who Moon's the one that like never really let go of the fraternity, and that's why he's still got the sleeves ripped off the robe, and
His hazing was real
still
difficult.
living the glory days.
I want to note that it's been like 30, 40 minutes that he's been walking with you. And
Yep.
he's chosen not to say this until he's at the villa.
I kind of appreciate that he didn't do that while we were also walking through the confusing corridor.
Just leave.
I'm like, yes, well, after the third time that Charlene came back, I've never quite been the same.
How dare you besmirch the name?
How dare you?
Walk. And he begins to move very quickly into the pillar.
Into the pillar.
Stop. Through the door of the pillar. And you see snaking around the outside these stairs right upward made of bone.
I'm real glad it's you walking.
And he begins to walk. And then slowly you realize, Flick, that this man is not walking anymore. And he's just gliding magically up these stairs. As you feel underneath you of Clarrybelle Trollbleeder, your stoic, strong companion who is being forced to walk up what would be 250 flights of
Am
stairs.
I going to need to save for exhaustion?
You are going to have to make a Constitution saving throw.
I feel like if he'd already made us a little bit more, then it would just be, at this point, give up. But I'm like, I know he hasn't figured out we're two people yet. I want to save that surprise.
12.
I'm going to say that's a pass for now.
Okay.
As you continue to walk up the stairs and up the stairs and up the stairs and up the stairs, and it spins around and around and around. Flick, it gets to the point where you look up and you can't see the top of this spire. You look down and you can't see the bottom of this spire. And you may as well be walking on the same loop of stair because you're not sure if you're getting higher and higher and higher.
Flick, please tell me.
Can you make a stealth check, please?
18.
You are so damn lucky. That is an 8 on the die. Just floating up, doesn't hear this interaction.
That we're close to the top. Real close. Like 3/4 of the way, I promise.
Can you make another Constitution saving throw?
24.
Hearing your friends say you're 3/4 of the way, you get this second wind and you climb and you climb and you climb and you climb. And eventually, after what feels like hours, you arrive at the top on a little platform. I'll leave you here for Valindra. She's very much looking forward to meeting you again. Hamoon, if that is your real name. And Jonah disappears.
I just said to the air, I'm like, yeah, okay, Jonah.
This back in these hazing days, Jonah. Okay, we're all grown up now. I get it, you were cool back then, but look who's married now.
Charlene and I are very happy.
The room around you looks as if it starts to melt, like a candle, slowly melting around you, and chairs materialize.
We can't see it. We cannot see it.
Yeah.
This is my biggest issue is what's happening right now. I'm like, oh no.
A table materializes, a desk materializes, artwork across the walls. Some of it quite beautiful, some of it incredibly graphic and violent. Melts into view, as does the figure of a tall, elven woman wearing a red cloak with an enormous, ornate collar that stands around her. Her head, also shaved, has some of the most beautiful, intricate tattooing. Her fingers, long and tattooed, have long black nails, and she stands almost as if she's just constantly floating above the floor. Hello.
Hello.
Have a seat, Hamoon.
Of course. Has been such a long time. And I just sort of wait and see if Clarrybelle does anything.
I can't see that there are chairs.
But she did
So-
say
No, you cannot.
she did say take a seat though.
Yeah, but I can't see that there are chairs. So I think Clarrybelle will register take a seat and sit on the ground.
Crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
Can you both make dexterity saving throws?
I don't have advantage on this from Barbarian, do I?
No, we've already established that. Sorry, Miriam.
Is the threat the floor? Because she can see the floor.
No, this
The thread is on the
this
floor.
is where it falls apart because that was a 6.
Mm-hmm. Flick.
Dirty 20.
Flick. You use your core strength to keep your body perfectly straight as you slowly lower down to the ground. And you're not in control of this. This is Clarrybelle. And you're like, okay, I'm going down. I'm going down. Okay, we're doing it on the floor. That's fine. We are going onto the floor. And that's fine. And it's all going well as Melindra floats in front of you. Slowly just lowering to sit on the ground. And Clarrybelle, you sit, and then the weight is just not correct on your shoulders, and you roll backwards. And Flick, you fall, and you manage to successfully not get hurt, and you roll out of the back. As the cloak opens up, revealing Clarrybelle as the legs, and Flick having rolled up to one of the chairs.
And I do like a blade pose and I go, ta-da! Which I don't think anyone's ever done those two things in sequence before.
Well, I must say that's not what I expected.
Still able to pull one over on you, eh?
Can you both make charisma saving throws?
Yeah. I love this dice.
I don't love mine. That's 11.
19.
Okay, you are both immediately trapped and sealed, and you can feel yourselves becoming entirely focused upon her.
That seems right.
She curls her fingers in, and you are both brought standing directly upright with your hands bound to your sides, staring at her gooey-eyed.
Tell me how you got here, and I will make this easy for you.
I'll be honest, I didn't see it. I didn't do a lot of the looking on our way up.
I assume we're sort of compelled to answer her, just checking.
You can do whatever you want. You are not compelled to answer.
Great.
We came in through a door.
And who gave you the key?
Hamoon.
Hamoon doesn't have a key. We wouldn't trust that fool with a key to the Dread Ring.
That's probably a wise
Okay, yeah,
decision.
no, that makes perfect sense.
How did you enter the door?
And you feel the vines tightening around you.
I can't move, but I say, I made a key from flame. Look at my hand.
She draws you up and looks upon your hand.
Interesting. Rahini will enjoy looking at you.
Very well. I think I'm done here. And you begin to float up, and you are now above the spire. You can feel the wind buffeting you. And she flicks her hand, and you are thrown from the top of the spire down, down, down
I would like to rage just before I hit the ground.
into the pit.
Nathan, I can't fly yet.
And that's where we're going to call the session.
Oh, no.
You've been listening to Best Left Forgotten. You can find and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Best Left Podcast and on our Best Left Forgotten Facebook page, where we post updates, info, and additional content. Music by Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Full song list and additional artists can be found in the episode description. Cover art by Caddy Wampus, who can be found on Fiverr. Thanks to Jess Wolfendale, our editor, Miriam Feats, our social media manager, and Nathan Quadrio, our GM and producer. If you enjoyed our podcast today, please leave a review and tell your friends.